want to talk to you about today is the crux, the essence, the core of the teshuva system. How to do teshuva in a way that's sustainable and intuitive and actually works in our subconscious. What if we had a tool that will help us want to do mitzvahs and not want to do averos? It works instantly, it works by itself, subconsciously, intuitively. Well, we do. And it's called our pleasure-seeking part of ourselves, and it works every time you open the fridge. You ever open a fridge, look for something, and you're like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just grab something? Because you're looking for something yummy. You ever go to ice cream parlor? I don't know, here we got Z-Select, right? You go to Carvel in America, and you're like, You want the thing that's good. And when you're looking at a lot of things that are good, you're like, oh no, I've got to choose carefully. I don't know, I'm still a baby like that. I'm like, I can't decide which one. They're all so yummy. Put them all together. Just stick all of the flavors, just stick them in one thing and mix it up, make it a razzle. I think that's what razzles are about. People who just can't decide on what flavor, just stick it all in one thing. We chase pleasure and we avoid pain. And that can make tshuva very easy for us. Because here's how it works. And I want to introduce something called dynamic Cheshbon Hanefesh. The idea of a Cheshbon Hanefesh is well known. If you want to do tshuva, the first thing you have to do is take a look at your life. These are the things that I do, these things that I don't do, and you start making a cheshbon, start making at least some keeping score. Now, usually the way that's done is, okay, so I keep score. I did these things bad, I did things good, and I have to try harder. I call it a dead scorecard. A dynamic scorecard, a dynamic cheshbon nefesh is where it's not just a scorecard, but through the process of evaluating my day, I will change. And here's how it works. Let's say you have some predetermined thing you're working on, and that's going to be the subject of a second clip, how to choose what you're doing tshuva on. So we'll talk about that separately. But right now, just imagine you have something predetermined. This is what I'm paying attention to today, this week, this month. So at the end of the day, you do your cheshbon nefesh, and there's going to be two boxes. There's going to be your regret box, the pain of regret box, and there's going to be your pleasure of satisfaction box. And chances are, if you're a human being, I hope you're a human being, not some kind of space alien, okay, whatever. You're going to have some failures and some successes because we're not perfect. Thing is, that's fine. Write them both down. At the end of the day, you say, like, okay, I'm going to give you an example of someone that I'm working with actually in this chabura. This is a person who said, oh, I want to work on my brachos. I space out when I say brachos, and I ask the person further, so what does that mean to you? You know, why do you care if you don't say brachos? Don't say brachos, you know, who cares? Oh, if I don't say brachas, it means that I'm not conscious. It means that I'm not grateful to Hashem, and I'm just taking stuff. Oh, what you're really looking for is a relationship with Hashem. Oh, that's your spiritual goal, and we'll talk more about how that works. But the symptom of the illness is the brachas are not with kavana, but the real goal of this person had was to live with more awareness, live with more mindfulness, and a connection to Hashem. Okay, so that was this person's focus, brachas, mindfulness, connection to Hashem. So at the end of the day, you do your cheshbon nefesh, and you're like, oh, well, I told the person to choose a specific bracha, because you got to be very specific, so the person chose Asher Yatzar. So it's like, make a calculation. I said Asher Yatzar X amount of times, 3 of them were not good, 3 of them were great. So you write them down. This time, at this day, 1, 2, 3, I didn't have kavana, I was in a hurry running for a bus, etc. These 3, I stopped and I said them and I had such kavana, and they're fantastic. So first you write them down, that's your scorecard. But here's the kicker. After you write it down, spend some time. And I call this having a mindful moment. Look at those 3 things, those 3 Asher Yatzars, where you didn't connect to Hashem and you were just living your life on autopilot, losing the depth that you're looking for. This person is looking for a depth of life where they're connected to God and they're living life in a meaningful way and they're feeling appreciation. And you know what? These 3 times you had the opportunity, but you blew it. Now I want to talk about what regret means and the distinction between regret and guilt. And this is very, very important. Because we're very good at guilt. Are you Jewish? Then you're probably very good at guilt. And if you're not good at guilt, you probably feel guilty that you don't feel good at guilt. But that's not necessarily a useful thing. Sometimes guilt can be useful, but more often than not, when a person says, I am guilty, what they're saying is, I am a bad person. I am a guilty person. Oh man, well what happens when you believe that you're a bad person? How motivational is that for change? If I'm a bad person, so whatever, what can I expect from myself? I'll try. But it's not such a good motivation for change. Much better is regret. Regret means I had such an amazing opportunity and I just lost it. I mean, imagine if you had an opportunity to just make $1 million, but you overslept. You had an appointment, at 10 o'clock in the morning, So meet with someone who wanted to offer you a job and you overslept. And you wake up at 10:30 and you're like, oh my gosh. The only reason why I don't have an amazing job right now is because I overslept. It just opportunities slip through my fingers. That's regret, and that's motivational. I don't want that to happen again. So guilty is, I'm a bad person. I am guilty. And regret is, I lost out on an opportunity. And it's very important to focus on regret here. So you're looking at those three Asher Yatzaras and you're like, oh man, those are opportunities, those were golden opportunities that Hashem gave me to thank Him for the amazing miracle of my body, of the functioning of the organs, and of course by thanking Hashem, of course that's going to increase that connection. It's an awesome opportunity. I lost it. Okay, when you're done with that, move to the other side of the chart and start thinking about the beautiful brachas you make. And you say, wow, you're a wealthy human being right now. Because what you did is connect to the infinite realm. You spoke to God. You were conscious of God. You appreciated the life that Hashem gave you. And enjoy the fact that you did that. What happens is, when you have pain from missing Asher Yatzar and you have pleasure from gaining it, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Well, the next time, as a pleasure-seeking being, the next time you have an opportunity to make this bracha, you're just going to automatically lean toward doing more of it in the way that gives you pleasure and not in the way that gives you pain. And this is not like someone yelling at you, you have to have kavanah, you Jewish person, where's your sense of gratitude to the Lord? Come on. No, I mean, listen, that's true. But much more powerful than that is our own desire to have fun, to have pleasure, and not to have pain. And if I know that tonight I'm going to have to sit and make a scorecard and I'm not going to enjoy myself, or I will enjoy myself, well, if I want to enjoy my life, I'll end up doing more of that. What I'm recommending is 30 seconds each. Now, 30 seconds is actually a lot of time to feel stuff. So if you do 15 seconds, it also works. But 15 or 30 seconds of actually experiencing, sitting inside your regret and sitting inside the pleasure of your satisfaction. And we do this every day as we make a Cheshbon Hanefesh. But there's another step that goes even beyond this. And that's Shabbos. We're going to talk more about Shabbos later and how it relates to tshuva. But very, very quickly, what Shabbos was designed to do is to be a day of oneg, a day of pleasure. And it's the oneg of me'ein olam haba. Very quickly, what does that even mean? Olam haba is when we enjoy spirituality. Think about it. In Olam hazeh, we work to achieve spirituality, and to whatever extent we were successful, we enjoy spirituality in Olam haba. Shabbos is me'ein. It's a little taste of Olam haba. What that means is, whatever extent we achieve spirituality during the week, what Hashem wants us to do is take a break from the effort and just enjoy the spirituality that we've already achieved. So Friday is when we prepare for Shabbos, and we look over the entire week. The Mishnah Berurah says you're supposed to do tshuva on Shabbos. He says you clean your house and you do tshuva. You clean your physical and outside environment, and you clean up inside. That's called doing tshuva. So what you do on Friday is you look over the whole week of regret, and you feel the pain of your lost opportunity, because whatever you lost, you're not bringing into Shabbos. You're not coming into Olam haba with your averos. They don't make it in. And there's pain in that. Of course, the trick is if you do tshuva, then they become mitzvahs and they do come in. But we're not telling you about that right now. First, what you have to do is just feel the regret and do tshuva on Friday for all the missed opportunities. And then on Shabbos, you go to the other side of the chart. Look over all of your spiritual successes this week. And that is Oneg Shabbos. So every day, you have this dynamic Cheshbon Hanefesh where you feel the pain and the pleasure of your mistakes and your successes. But then you do that in a big way every weekend, every Friday and every Shabbos. And that is the way we train our subconscious mind to actually change our brains. We restructure our brains. As psychology has learned to discover, and as Lahavdil we learned earlier, that the Kabbalist firm teaches us that as we learn to heighten our pleasure, we're going to want that more. So send your email to thetorahcenter@gmail.com and join our Chabura, where we are working on this every day. And I want to tell you, we have a Google group, and someone posted this amazing post in the beginning of this week. And the title was Results. I've been doing these charts, we're not going to explain to you soon how these charts work, for a full week. And I want to tell you about my result. My heart started pounding like, oh no, I hope he's going to say something good. But he said something amazing. He said that, well, more or less, without remember verbatim, that there are areas in his life that were they were in like the hopeless pile. Like, whatever, I can't succeed at those things. But subconsciously, without any effort, he's finding that they're easy for him. He's just starting to get better and fly in areas that he never even realized possible. And the amazing part about it is with no effort. Because we simply are attracted to pleasure. So let's utilize, let's harness the power of our own pleasure-seeking and pain-avoiding instinct to do teshuvah. Come and join us.